So I believe I have the poker of all pokers to give you, bro. I believe you're about to be like real happy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There we go.
So I'm going to give some love to Raw real quick. I like all of Raw's products.
Have you seen the CEO of Raw, by the way?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's an amazing dude.
An amazing guy, right? Like really good personality. It's nice to listen to him talk.
He's ADHD incarnate.
Sure.
Anyways.
Well, no, he had a really good idea and he pursued it far enough to make it work. And now I pick up his products and I'm just really impressed with the packaging, the fact that it really is made out of all natural materials. Really good graphic design. And that's something that obviously as an art director, I'm looking at first. I just really like the guy's products. I think they're cool, man.
Oh, dude, they make great products. Great products.
In fact, I would say that's the only like name brand cannabis product I buy, right?
Have you ever tried those like palm leaf cigar things? I don't know. They're trying to get away from tobacco.
Sure.
I quit cigarettes a long time ago, and I pack and a half a day, and I really enjoy myself a Swisher, but
right,
it keeps me away from going and going and buying a pack. I don't know, me personally.
Sure.
When I quit, I would, just out of habit, would just go to the gas station, buy a soda and be like, oh, I need a pack of Marlboro 27s. And then walk out and be like, oh, shit, I just bought a pack of 27.
Right.
And then be like, what do I do? Throw them away.
Oh, shit, you were strong enough to throw them away, huh?
I would buy them. I did that probably like 4 or 5 times, too. And then...
Legit.
And then just was done. But, it really got to the point, though, I was, hacking up just awful stuff. But I've never had a problem with blunts or anything like that.
No, so I know some of the stuff they put in cigarettes, and we all know they're awful, and nobody should smoke.
No, for sure.
I think everybody should have the right to, but it's just really not a good thing. But here's when I quit smoking, was when I got in my car on my way to a retainer client. So this is a big deal. This was like basically going to the office, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm getting ready to leave to this big meeting, and I get in my car fresh in the morning, flask of coffee kind of thing, right? Insulated cup of coffee. And I go to start my car and I can't stop coughing. And I know it's from the cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And it never bothered me before. This is a new thing. But I cough really hard and something gross and green came out of me. And in that minute, I was like, if that's what's in my body because of this, I got to quit. This is gross.
Well, there you go, sir.
Wow, look at that. All right.
And minimal damage, too.
Yeah, and then I got to tell you, so then I start smoking cannabis, medical cannabis legally, I guess.
That's an amazing thing, too, being a card holder.
Being a card holder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it allows me to do this right here. I got to be honest, the number one use for me would be for anxiety. And I get a little bit of anxiety before a fucking show, man. This wasn't really what I wanted to do for a living, I wasn't really trying to host.
I didn't expect to have any anxiety going into this, but the second the cameras come on and you're like, oh god, your cameras. But then it's like, oh, you're just hanging out with your homies, so then it's like, no,
right,
you're back at it. It's just homie time,
Yeah, in all honesty, I mean, since nothing's live and everything's editable, the pressure's off, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So you could
make it live, and then the pressure's even more.
No, I don't know if I'm gonna go there, man. Fuck, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Twitch is always fun, though. Have you thought about doing Twitch?
So we have. Actually, that's part of the equipment that's showing up today. So we have a web camera that goes on top of this TV so that whoever's watching us can see all of us in the room.
Yeah.
And I know that's real standard stuff, but what's going to be a little different about ours is that won't actually be what our feed is. Our feed will be off the Sony 4Ks.
Right.
And then that's all going to go through our channel. We'll be able to split screen this. We could play overhead magic against 4 people and they could see our board state the whole time.
Right.
We could jump on Discord, right? And just get on there and just jam with people, man. Just talk.
Dude, it's so fun.
Combos. And then certainly Twitch. We could stream from in here. So one of the things that we're trying to do with the interview show, with the vodcast, is we're going to start doing it once a month on location somewhere, starting with that private bourbon bar that isn't open yet. And we can have not only more people there and present and involved and around it, but you'll be able to join us, we're hoping, virtually.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely live stream. So, what's funny is oftentimes when you're trying to invent something, and I'm saying this as an art director, you don't realize that it's already completely been done because it was a brand new, fresh idea to you. And so it's like you came about this idea organically.
Right.
So when you see it somewhere else, it can be crushing because you now know it's not original.
Lighter?
I do, man.
For sure. I just want to get this going. I
Yeah,
feel
please do.
we've been talking for a minute and haven't smoked at all.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go get us a cigar ashtray in 1 second.
Let's get the ashtray before we start.
You got it.
Because I'd rather not be prepared.
Oh, in case Aiden has to edit this out right now, here's a mental picture for you at 3 a.m. while you're eating your Munchuchan ramen noodles and editing this episode. Oh, big, gross vaginas.
Hey.
Oh, sloppy, sweaty balls.
Aiden, by the way, with your ramen, take an egg. I promise you, take an egg while it's still boiling. Or if I don't know what kind of ramen, if it's like a cup ramen, sorry, you can't do it with cup ramen. But you take the yolk of an egg. You have to back and forth, rock the egg back and forth, and then you just have the yolk, and then you put the yolk in the broth, and the second it hits the broth, you break it, stir it around. It's the best thing. Miso base is really good. Chicken base is really good. Beef base, it's really good with that. Huge fan of ramen.
Fuck yeah. How could you not be, right? Like anyone that's gone to college knows 56 ways to cook ramen.
I got into a huge kick of cooking Japanese food too. Tamagoyaki is Japanese rolled eggs, and I love eggs, and eggs are easy. And
Sure.
knowing how to cook eggs multiple different ways is a very good skill to have, I think, personally.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I think being able to cook in general is a very worthwhile skill that probably every human should pursue. I mean, you have to have a caloric intake to survive. You have to eat food.
Oh, right.
So it should probably taste good.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of things aren't edible until you cook them. So you should probably know how to do that. It really trips me out what people don't know how to do. But me as a foodie, I want to hear what you were talking about. What did you say the Japanese rolled eggs were?
Tamagoyaki is what it is.
Tamagoyaki.
Oh yeah, it's just
Dude,
roll. It's super.
dope.
It's super simple too. It's just a type of pan, and it's a square pan, super small. And once again, I recommend just owning one. They're a great gift. They're like $15 on Amazon, and then you can cook personal stuff.
A tamagoyaki pan.
They make it specifically for this thing.
This
But
sounds
you
dope.
can do it in a normal pan. All you just need to do is crack an egg, stir it around, and then once it's like almost like yolky, not yolky, you know what I mean? You just roll it up with a pan, like with a little.
So this is egg crepes is what it is.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
But then you can get creative too, and instead, once the egg's all scattered through the pan, then you put seaweed on it. Then you roll the seaweed up. And
Okay.
Then adds another little crunchy flavor to it, and then you add scallions to it, and then it's a whole nother thing. Yeah.
So it's a little bit omelet chef, omelet bar.
Oh, whatever you would want.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit crepe. You do the same thing where you're adding the toppings
Dude,
of the crepe.
I love eggs. Everything that go with eggs is good. I don't know how we got on to that point.
We get onto a lot of points on this show, but no, I want to stay on the food topic for a minute. 'Cause
for sure.
I think it's so cool one of my friends is doing that, because I have to say we're not in an area that's populated with a ton of foodies.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I definitely have a few foodie friends. Like you watched Eric Tucker's episode, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, there's 10 reasons I'm friends with Tucker.
Oh,
There's 10 reasons
I
we
love
have
Eric.
to be good
He's
friends,
an amazing
right?
Guy.
But one of them is definitely food, and me and him get together and do hot sauce nights sometimes.
He's destroyed some sauce with me.
Oh, he's destroyed my colon. He's fucking. He brought some stuff over. 3 times I've had 2 million Scoville units.
Oh, he's given me some the dabs or last dab.
Da bomb. Oh,
Da-bomb,
last
no,
dab.
He's giving me da bomb and last dab.
That's right.
I combined them both, but man, dude,
That's dangerous territory
all I
right
did
there,
was
man.
Just like a little of that. It wrecked my mouth. But ever since then, too. I mean, I did on my Twitch. There was a running joke of, you know what mukbang is? Mukbang. It's online. It's a Korean thing where people didn't want to eat alone or something like that, and you go and eat online, and then other people would watch you eat, and you'd converse with other people, so you didn't have to eat alone.
That's cool.
But then we Americanized it, and now it's Nikocado.
Discord.
Yeah, Nikocado Avocado. Look him up. He just destroyed the whole thing. Like
Nikocado Avocado
yeah.
is a human being.
It is. He was on Tosh.0 too. That's how I initially saw him. But
Is that like a Waka Flocka Flames? It's just one of those names where
he
this
made it
has
up.
to be the name.
Oh,
or-
dude, he sells himself on YouTube. If anybody, he just yells on. He cries and eats, and he gets a whole plate of noodles and eats a whole plate of noodles.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that on my Twitch, you know, I'd be playing World of Warcraft and be like, oh, do a mukbang. And anyways, you know, after so long of people doing it, I just broke down. I was like, all right, we're mukbanging. And I did the spicy noodle thing, and I there's video of it somewhere, but I tried to do 6 packs of it, but it was just 6 packs of noodles is a lot.
That's a ton of ramen.
It's a
bro.
lot. And I was
that's a
like,
whole college dorm
I
serving.
did 4. I put 4 and cooked 4 of them, and I knew I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
I think I got through 1.5 of them, and it was hot. Like, I did the Da Bomb before that. Eric had given me hot sauce, and I was like, all right, I've done Da Bomb. And I looked up online.
That's like 2 million Scoville units, right?
Yeah, right.
Da Bomb's legit.
And then the noodles I was eating was just like right at Tabasco sauce. Like a bowl, like that's what it was. But, you know, I was like, oh, it's just Tabasco sauce.
But combined.
Well, no, but now you think it's a literally just a bowl of Tabasco sauce. So it's sitting, you just have to sit there and eat it. And I mean, I think I ended up puking a little bit, but
yikes.
Yeah, but it was great for Twitch. It was an amazing Twitch thing.
That sounds amazing. So you've been streaming for a while now, yeah?
I quit just because it became not worth it. Just overall, I mean, you'd stream for 10 hours a day, and then occasionally you'd get to have a really good day, and most of the days were pretty mediocre. So,
what do you gauge in the standard by? Like, you're saying you didn't make money? Or
it wasn't money. It's like it's view, like people watching you. It's either you didn't get enough people following you. It's either you didn't get enough donation. It's all of it combined. It's not just donations. It's
Sure.
like, oh, you streamed for 10 months and have a concurrent, 25 people watching you, and then one day all of a sudden you're down to 3 all day. It's a real blow to the ego, kind of, and it's a bunch of up and down. So
yeah.
So if you're not ready for that, it can be a trip. It can be a roller coaster.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And in the state, but in the situation I was in, it just wasn't for me. Or I wasn't really, my mom being in the situation he was, I'd taking care of her, and just the trips to the hospital back and forth. I couldn't have a regular schedule, because to be successful on Twitch, you need to be on Twitch a lot.
Sure.
And a regular schedule.
Sure.
And not being able to be like, hey, I'm going to be here today. And then being like, all right, I've been here today every day for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden for 4 or 5 days, I can't be there.
Right.
So and then explaining all that.
I've heard the public is pretty demanding in terms of what they want out of their celebrities. And it's so funny.
It's not even like, it's just demanding in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should say I've heard the online public, right?
Right.
And all we hear about is like cancellations, cancel culture, negative comments left all the time. Don't check your own comments.
And then you get the keyboard warriors behind that,
sure.
Have bad days at work and then want to take it out on you.
Fucking trolls.
And then you have to be like, you're the guy on the internet that's always happy. Like, oh, I'm here to be happy and make you happy.
Oh, no. I think we need to be clear with people. Dear troll, you a hoe.
Oh, yeah, you a hoe.
Hey, troll, you a hoe. Fuck those people.
But overall, though, the experience I had was amazing. I mean, who could... getting paid to play a video game. I mean, who...
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I mean... Waking up and having anybody watch you play video games is a thrill. So, like...
It's funny. I think that I'm built in the opposite regard that way, because none of these shows have been released yet. So there's been no reaction to them, right? And we're just building the channel. And when this actually comes out, I in no way ever want to be recognized anywhere. Like, that would do nothing for me. Like, if I'm at a gas station and someone's like, aren't you that guy from that show? I'm going to automatically assume you don't like my show. You have something negative to say. Like, I really feel like it would mess with my self-esteem. And so then I thought about how lucky we are, because, me being the hermit that I am, we live in the Midwest. And even though we live at a party lake, I don't go out and party much. So you're not going to see me anywhere. And I thought, man, how much worse is it for the people in LA if somehow, some way you get people to latch onto your shows, you get a few fans, they start checking you out. And now you're in this really populated area like Los Angeles or Austin.
That guy that,
people recognize you everywhere just because the population density then by numbers indicates there's just more people out of that 1% that would recognize you to recognize you, right?
Right.
And I was like, man, that's got to suck for people that can't go to an airport. Not that I want to go to airports, but...
Nah. I'm down for driving Driving's awesome.
Yeah. We got some trips coming up, and we're gonna drive. But
Oh yeah, where you go? Where you going?
I'm gonna go to Florida and go to Disney World.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I grew up in Southern California, and I had a year-round pass to Disneyland from when I was 16 till I was 30.
Disney World, not Disneyland.
Yeah. So I've never been to Disney World because,
the
like,
Florida one.
Yeah. In Florida, I've never
I
been
see.
because I lived in Anaheim. I lived in Long Beach.
Yeah,
I lived in Lakewood. I'm right by the real Disneyland, and I grew up on Wonderful World of Disney.
Right.
So I love all the little nuances of Main Street, and I like the Mickey trivia, and I like the nerdy stuff about Disney, and so I just go nerd out all over Disneyland, the original park. And so that always prevented me, having that in my backyard always prevented me from then going to Florida, because it's like you're kind of getting your fix,
you got
right?
Spoiled a little bit, yeah.
And I got spoiled on the original, and so it's like I know the other one's kind of a knockoff, and I've heard it's bigger, better. We got it even more Disney the second time.
I don't know if it like I've been to Disney World. I think a few times, but it's always overpriced everything. Like just.
Sure.
It's amazing at the first bit, but you get dragged there enough. It is what it is. Everyone should go there. If you haven't been, go.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you're buying a bottle of water. It's like $9 from like.
Oh yeah. It's the $8 beer at Angel Stadium.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's
right.
fine. But we're here for a baseball game.
Right.
We're here for Mickey Mouse.
Right. But if you do go, I would absolutely recommend medicating. Splash Mountain medicated was an amazing trip.
Man, okay.
Yeah, I would absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend.
No anxiety on that roller coaster.
I think they changed the Splash Mountain now.
Because everybody's medicated on it?
Oh, maybe. But no, I think it was because like the song from it was just like a deep Southern type song, like cancel culture type stuff. Like
sure.
I think the story is like the rabbit is like a runaway slave kind of thing. And like
okay, so the song that's on the ride is from a movie called Song of the South.
Is it?
And Song of the South featured what would be by today's standards a racist figure of a dark-skinned gentleman, for sure. Now, if you've seen the movie, which they don't release anymore, they won't put it back out.
And I'm not even 100% sure this is what it is. This is just from what I've been told and heard.
Sure. Well, here's what it is. Disney, by my understanding, my perception of it, having seen the movie, and it's a beloved movie to me in the sense that I saw it a lot as a child. I don't know what I would feel if I saw it as an adult, but they don't release it anymore because the gentleman that's on it, the dark-skinned fella, is he's just a Southern stereotype is what it is. I mean, it's not meant to be offensive or belittling that I remember. I just remember loving his character, and he's telling the stories, and then stories get animated. But I think by today's standards, and maybe I was just a kid then, and it was by any standard racist. Well, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's... What is it? Walt Disney. When was this park developed? Like 56 or something?
I think Disney was built in 55, opened in 57.
40. It might be 40s. Are you?
Well, Disney Animation's been around since the 30s, strong. So
that's during segregation, though. So like that. I mean, Disney World is built upon just a different time, and those rides haven't changed. You know what I mean? So, and I think it is
well, in all fairness, though, that movie got made. I want to say that Song of the South movie is like maybe even from the 80s.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I saw it in a theater as a real young child. So, again, I don't think it was intended to be racist. It was intended to be a stereotype from back then.
Okay.
I think of a person's like, well, stature, what they would have wore, I think. Just a character. But it seems kind of racist if you look back on it.
But how racist can a rabbit be, though? I don't know.
No. It's not the rabbit. It's the way they portray the dark-skinned human.
Gotcha. Okay.
In the filmed portion of it.
And then the song is from the Song of the South?
Right. So the song that's played on the ride is just from the movie, The Song of the South. And I think it's kind of maybe an homage to the entire story. Like it's a mashup of kind of
amazing.
Yeah, the ride's amazing, and that's what matters.
I think we're digging pretty deep into a ride, but I mean, hey, if it offends somebody, let's get it changed.
Well, I struggle with that all the time. Like part of me feels like our society, our culture right now is focusing way too much on the negative, and everybody's making a big deal about things to the point. And again, I'm just arguing this one side of it real quick is that it seems like people are making too big a deal when you got these little cards you can tap out in the military. It's like, wait, you're here because you need to be tough. We need to toughen you up, not let you tap out. I don't know much about that, though, so I'm not making a strong comment. Participation trophies, everybody's a winner kind of an attitude, when that's unfortunately clearly not true. And so it doesn't prepare people for life. I feel like our culture is really that way. But then when you look at it with all of these racially charged issues going on, maybe it isn't a small deal by any means, because I have no idea what it feels like to be that person that grew up totally different than I did.
I think a bigger thing would be is whether or not the entrance ticket's like $400 a day to Walt Disney, whether or not a song's weird. Let's work on
let's get the prices down.
Let's work on the prices first, and then we'll talk about what's offensive. Let's make it so Walt Disney is affordable.
Well, you know why the price is so high is the rides are full of racist songs apparently, and I got to pay all those lawyers to get them out of trouble.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, I wonder about the issues going on right now, but I know you're kind of like me. You stay home a lot.
Oh, for sure.
And part of the reason that I wanted to have you on the show was because it's a unique situation why you're staying at home right now. And it wasn't always the case, but it is now. And you're a caregiver to your mom.
Yep.
And I don't even know as many details about it as I'd like to, but I mean,
what would you like to know about it?
How did it come about that your mom needed care?
Well, it kind of just progressed. Well, I mean, you have to start from the beginning. I mean, she's been sick for a long time. She had an autoimmune liver disease that we didn't really know about. She got sick in 2013. She had a gastric bypass in 2007.
Wow.
Yeah, and, you know, in that time, they didn't really tell you a lot about gastric bypass either. I mean, I think in her situation, I don't know entirely. I was pretty young, but just didn't have the proper follow-up care. And then, you know, 10, 15 years go by, she gets sick, her kidneys shut down, and then her liver is not quite working correctly.
Wow.
And then she has neuropathy, like she develops neuropathy in her feet. So she has this chronic pain that she can't manage. So now we're dealing with that. So just over time, her liver slowly just deteriorated. And then it was almost to the point where we needed a liver transplant. But I mean, all of a sudden, her kidneys started working, her liver started getting better. And
when you say all of a sudden, is this a recent thing?
No, 2017, maybe. She started not needing to, not needing to be on it's called like a MELD score is what they do for a transplant. And I think 30s, upper 28s is where you need a transplant. And she currently is like an 8. Or where it's like if you were go to a transplant facility, they would laugh at you and be like, your liver's not great, but you don't qualify. So that's really good progress.
That's good
progress, but I mean, there's still things that are wrong. I mean, you know what ascites is?
I don't.
So your liver, there's a pressure in your liver, and once your liver it just has too high of a pressure, there's this fluid, like a plasma-like fluid. If you've ever like squeezed your skin hard enough, and you'd see like little like a yellowy secretion kind of.
Sure, okay.
That's the kind of plasma. Anyways, that would kind of secrete into her just abdominal cavity, and she'd have to get regular paracentesis, which is, and there's thoracentesis as well. It's where you get taps in your upper abdominal cavity and then your lower, which is the paracentesis. And she would be drained of like 12 or I think 9 liters of fluid.
9 liters.
Yeah.
So to be clear, like a liter bottle of water, a soda liter bottle.
Liters of fluid.
9 of those.
And she, I think, had 11 of those procedures. And at times she would have both thora and paracentesis at the same time. Jeez, dude. Yeah. So she was put through the ringer. And then she would also develop like a high in ammonia level in your body. Like everybody walks around with a
certain ammonia level,
certain amount of pneumonia. And like if you don't have liver cirrhosis or what she has, like you could pass it through. But for her, she just can't pass it through fast enough, and it just messes with your mind and you become crazy. She can become crazy.
Well, so, I mean, the human body is really just a great big erector set, a great big chemistry set. We always talk about it, right? And we're always trying to tune on it ourselves. And it's like our touch, if you will, is not fine enough to tune it yet the way we'd like to. you start having high levels, excuse me, of any chemical in your body, and it can have a real effect on your mind, your mental state, you know, how you're feeling physically, the way you act, right?
Yeah.
So ammonia, I hadn't heard of this before, but I got to imagine a high level of ammonia could have some adverse effects on
I mean,
your cognition.
Before we realized it was high ammonia, there was some interesting things. I mean,
Theories.
I mean, she'd have some delusions, like, I mean, seeing penguins and stuff like that. And over time, we just realized, oh, it's high ammonia. You just had to take this medication. Bing, bang, boom.
God bless her, man.
Oh, man, she's been put through the ringer. She's an amazing woman. So she's doing a lot better, too. I don't want to, like, go into it too deeply, but she's detached from a detached retina just from all the side effects of her medication, like just barfing. You know, she detached her eyeball and then had to get a surgery to fix that, cataracts through all of this, hernias throughout all this, just repairs, just surgery after surgery. It's intense, but she's managed. So
that's a pretty incredible story on your mom's side.
Yeah, and
to have that happen to you.
And all of it. I mean, and both my parents are physicians too, and without them being physicians, I don't think we'd be in the place we are either. Too, which is another thing. Is our the healthcare system is just absolutely messed up. Like,
I've had pretty bad experiences with the American healthcare system.
I remember
myself.
you've torn both the you tore the muscle off your
bicep.
That's what it is.
So whatever this cord is right here, and you'd think I'd have the name memorized. I don't, but whatever this cord is, mine broke, and then they had to stretch it back together and basically put ties on it. Yep. Right, so it's bound back together. I detached this bicep from the bone and that one 10 months apart. So had to wait almost a year to even think about physical therapy, and then wait again.
I remember seeing you playing cards in your
sling.
Yeah.
Dude, it was one of the worst stages of my life. It
was this table, wasn't it? It was this very table?
No, it was not. I bought this for the studio.
Okay.
But I had that beautiful hardwood table. I mean, an honest to God hardwood table that seats 10. And I right-handed it. I mean, I just jerked that motherfucker off the ground and popped it. And I should have known better, because 10 months earlier, of course, I was moving the bench seat in my hot rod and detach this one. So I should have known. In fact, they even told me when I was in the doctor's appointment and I asked, is this going to happen to the other side? They even told me, they go, you just can't tell. I mean, we just don't know. What fleshed out after both of those, though, was that they ended up, I believe, letting the doctor that did my left bicep go from the hospital over a malpractice suit.
Oh, man.
So I'm missing like a good couple of inches of bicep that, had he done things correctly, kept me in a sling a different duration, given me the right physical therapy after I got none.
Though.
They came back.
I can tell though now when you talk about it. Yeah,
you see, it's like
there's a little.
It's missing in there, right? It's a little different.
But it looks good still. I mean, I remember it being all all detached. So.
Oh yeah, man, it was pretty rough for a while. But see, when I had my it might have been that first surgery done, that same hospital, they almost killed me.
Oh wow, I didn't hear about that.
I'm laying in the hospital bed, and alarms start going off, and I just set up as I noticed them, and I can't breathe. I said, I really can't breathe. That was a coincidence, by the way. I need to clear my throat. Haha, not dramatic effect. Anyways, I set up and I said, I can't breathe. And these alarms go off and humans come rushing down a hallway. And my wife at the time was obviously panicked. Not as much as I would have liked.
Okay.
But the people come rushing in, and the first words I heard were, we might have collapsed your lungs. And I don't remember anything after that.
Oh, shit. Did they collapse your lung? Is that?
My understanding was that the anesthesiologist had gotten the numbers wrong, or I had an adverse effect that I had never had before. And when they juiced me, it might have collapsed my right lung over here. And I guess what that is you have those mucous membranes inside your lung, and once they touch, they tend to stick together. Well, they might have paralyzed that side of my body enough to make it collapse. So my understanding after I blacked out is somebody got a balloon and pumped me back up. Something like that. I don't remember because I blacked out. I wasn't there for it, but it scared the hell out of me. And here's the ironic part. My marketing firm named Facelift, when it first got off the ground in Cali, my business partner was an anesthesiologist.
Oh, wow.
So I know how important it is to have a good anesthesiologist, because they have to take psychological training when they go through school, because on average, I believe the number is they're going to lose 3 people in their career.
Oh, man.
Doing their job correctly, doing it by the numbers, there will be 3
people
flukes.
just have like an adverse reaction. Like,
right. Like I did this time, just to something. And we don't know what it was, and it didn't happen before, and it'll probably never happen again. But it can happen now, and it can kill you. And so on average, in a career done by the book, a good job done, 3 human lives.
That's hard.
So what happened, actually I remember now, it was my second surgery that they thought they collapsed my lung, because the ironic part of the story was I had called down to the hospital and said, hey, does the guy that did my first surgery, does that anesthesiologist still work at your hospital? And they said, yeah. I said, I want to request him. And so I had to wait for a later date to get my surgery, because I wanted the same guy that had gotten it right for surgery 1, because I knew he wasn't going to kill me.
Hell yeah.
He didn't show up. And when I was at the second surgery, the very first person to come into the room once I'm like gowned up was like, this guy
collapsed your lung?
Was the guy yes, that ended up collapsing my lung. He comes in and goes, so I'm not the guy you asked for, but hey, I'm the anesthesiologist and I'm going to do a darn good job. And it sounded like he was trying to sell me like the undercoating on a fucking car. Like it didn't feel right at the time. And then lo and behold, they probably collapsed my lung. At very least, he got the numbers wrong. So that was terrifying for me.
Oh man, I bet, dude. I've never experienced anything along those lines, but to go rough. Through any type of malpractice. I think you've had some dentistry malpractice too.
Yeah, so everybody jokes about my luck, right? I'm one of these
pirate
guys.
Brandon.
Yeah. So I was missing. I think it's these 2. I can't feel them, man.
It looks good.
Thanks, I got them back.
Yeah.
So what it was I go to get these lower posts done. I'm still technically missing a couple of teeth.
Oh, because I can't even tell. So
well, I had them pulled and I had the bone graft done with the intention to go ahead and get these like permanent teeth you never worry about again. Right? I don't have particularly bad teeth.
Is it veneers? Where you gonna get or is it implant?
It's an implant in your jaw.
Okay. So
I go that far. I'm waiting to get my 2 teeth in, and I get a toothache, which is rare for me. I don't normally have cavities or problems. Take pretty good care of my teeth. Well. So I go to the dentist and they're like, dude, one of your teeth is cracked. And I do tend to clinch, lifting weights. Right. I'm supposed to wear a mouth guard. I often don't. My fault. So I cracked a tooth lifting weights. And they go, you probably better take care of it. It could have an infection. So round around I go in these circles where instead of going to get my 2 lowers done, I had to go in and go see a specialist because I had an appointment anyway for my upper where I now have an infection. And when I go to the appointment, they tell me they're going to go ahead and get the tooth out. We'll do one of these same posts up there. Hey, man, you're going to have teeth you never have to worry about the rest of your life. Let's not fill it, fix it. Let's yank it, spend the extra money, put this permanent tooth in. You're done for life. I was like, that sounds great.
Good. It sounds great on paper. Let's do it.
So Tyler Tebow goes with me, and we get a dope ass hotel, and we're fucking going to Vintage Stocks, buying magic cards, opening magic cards.
Columbia?
No, this is in Kansas. I have to drive.
Okay, I didn't know that.
To Overland Park, Kansas, to find this specialist, air quotes, as I was told in my dentist words, good enough to do this procedure. We're driving home from the trip, and here's me. I was like, they pulled the wrong tooth. And Tebow's like, dude, you fucked up on pain pills. They didn't pull the wrong tooth. I'm not on pain pills. I didn't take them. I don't like pain pills. We're driving. I go, nah, bro, they pulled the wrong tooth.
They pulled the wrong one.
He goes, man, your mouth is numb. You're sideways. It's been a long drive. You slept in what's not your own bed. He's giving me a speech. He's like, calm down. You're going to be fine.
You're chill. This is normal.
I'm a person with anxiety. I'm not going to take marijuana over state lines. So I'm like anxious as fuck coming home. Anyways, yeah, I wake up in the morning and sure as shit, they pull the wrong tooth. And not only the wrong tooth,
it was a perfectly fine one.
Perfectly good tooth. And it's what they call your fence post tooth. That canine.
Next to your canine or your canine?
My canine.
Okay.
And it's like, you want that tooth there, I guess. Well, anyways.
They fucked that one up.
Yeah. To be clear, no, I'm sorry. I had the canine replaced. It was the one in front of it that shouldn't have been pulled.
Gotcha.
So now here's where I'm at. Now I'm all the way home from Overland Park, fucking Kansas, which ain't my backyard, man.
It's
right?
like a 2.5, 3 hour drive.
4.5.
4.5. Okay.
To get where I'm going.
Okay. So it's a bit in there.
Right. I'm home. Now the wrong tooth's pulled. I have to go through that healing process, which means I still have a tooth that's cracked with an infection in my jaw. I got to go back to Overland Park, Kansas and
Same
trust
dude.
the same people to get it right the second time. And I can't even tell you the fucking fiascos that I had in that place. And I'm too professional to mention their name. I don't want to drag anybody down, but I absolutely had a lawsuit had I chosen to pursue it. But I'll tell you, Nick, and I've told this story on my shows before, but I realized through medical cannabis and a true breakthrough I had one night in the midst of all this, that I'm not a guy that sues people. Right? Like hey.
There you go.
That was a good ring.
Sorry for...
No, I was told by an attorney friend of mine that was just hearing me rant about this, that there's a special term in dentistry for when they pull the wrong tooth, because it never happens. But if it was somehow to happen in today's age, there's a special term that means like automatic loss in court.
Oh.
So he offered me $100,000, the attorney.
Okay.
He goes, dude, this never happens. It's an instant win. We're just going to bat it back and forth like a ping pong ball. He goes, if you'll sign with me and stick it out for a couple of years, I'll get you $100,000. So here's what I got on the table. I'm missing a tooth. And I still got to get another one out of my face. And that means that I'm steps up the ladder away from getting completed, like I was first on the path for. And I'm real upset about that.
I would be very upset about that. First of all, like, I don't know, how did you find this guy to begin with?
So my dentist referred me to him because they said they weren't good enough to do the work
Here
there.
in town?
Yeah, here in town, here at Lake Ozarks.
And
they
were
wanted
like,
to
go up
send me some.
Overland Park,
And the
this guy's
closest
got you.
guy was a state over in Overland Park, Kansas. So anyways, I'm in the midst of this, dude, and I'm realizing that I'm pretty upset about it. But then I think about it. In fact, here's how I think about it: is I get righteously medicated and I go into my gym and I turn my music all the way up in my noise canceling headphones, and I really get into it. And I love combining the elevation of medical cannabis with all the natural chemical high of working out.
See, I need to
really
start
hard.
doing that.
Dude, it's profound.
Oh, dude,
It's profound.
I've been thinking. I drove around looking at gyms too. When I walked into the one over by Lowe's Anytime, I didn't really see anyone up there, and I was like, I'll wait for somebody. And I was like,
I'll tell you about that
I'll just
place.
look up online their prices too. I was like, all I wanted to know was like how much. I don't want like a 3-month. I just want to pay monthly because I've done the year thing, and I went 3 months out of the year, and I was like, all right, I was done, and then I just was like, I can do whatever I want to do at the park.
I have a lot to say about that.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
But where I was when I was in my gym is I hit that peak, the combination of the two, right? Where the cannabis has really got the anxiety out of your system,
right?
And those neural pathways open, and you're thinking differently. And then you combine that with truly rigorous exercise. I stuttered because I mean fucking rigorous. So rigorous exercise, cannabis high, you get that peak. And I have this real clarity of mind, and I realize, like, this guy didn't pull my tooth out on purpose. He wouldn't have pulled the incorrect tooth. He's just a business owner like I am.
Right.
Somebody probably made a clerical error on a piece of paper. It probably said a 5 instead of a 6. And the doctor that did it looked and, I guess this one's coming out. That's weird. This wasn't done with malice or bad intention. And I'm so stoned, Nick, and I'm having these wonderful breakthroughs. And that's what medical cannabis is so good to me for. I mean, it really is for breakthroughs. I realized that I'm not going to sue this guy, because there was no negative energy coming from his side of the table. I mean, he didn't do it on purpose. What does me getting $100,000 from his insurance company change about the situation?
It doesn't. The least he can do would be like, let me just take care of everything here. Let me just take care of it.
Should have, right? Here's the insulting part. Sales pitched me on, we can do the lowers if you want to come back.
And then he lowballed you? Or...
Doesn't mention pricing. And he just means, come on back, give me the business.
Oh.
Basically what I got was a free $6,000 tooth I didn't need.
Oh, well.
To be honest with you.
You have a great story out of it.
Great story.
Yeah.
It's a much worse looking tooth than what I originally had in there, but at least I can't tell.
It looks fine. I couldn't even tell. Like, if you wouldn't even told me, I couldn't even tell. But I just know the whole story. So, like, but yeah, no, it looks great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So, you wanted to talk about the gym, and I do too.
Yeah. Oh, I just been driving around looking for a gym, and just been like, I been the type of person that's been like never like super into gyms, but like been like turned away from it just from like seeing people like going in there like just working out. Like, and they're probably doing their own thing, but it's just like I'm doing my own thing too, and it just turned me away from it for the longest time. And I was in Mizzou was when I first started doing like anything in the gym, but it was
cool.
just like running the track and using their track just to like run to like keep in shape.
Sure.
But recently, skateboarding's been a huge help. I talk about it a lot.
It's a ton of work.
Oh yeah, it is. You lose a lot of weight doing it, and I recommend anybody that can balance on it or even try, just pick up a board and see if it's fun for you. It will
be.
Oh yeah, I promise it is. And if you want to lose weight, you trick yourself. It's just like you're having fun on a board, and you're like, oh man, I'm drenched in sweat, and I've been out here for 2.5 hours. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun.
It'd be like if treadmills did kickflips.
Exactly. And even if you can't do a kickflip and you can just bomb a hill, that's always fun. And then you have to run back up to the top of the hill to go back down. So
there you go.
There's some workout.
Burn those calories.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I tell people this all the time that laugh that I still own decks, at 42 years old. And I tell them all the time, like, you don't have to go bust, man. Like, don't go try and throw a pressure flip in your driveway.
No.
The joy of rolling is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Get on a fucking board and push wood. Just go roll around. It feels fun.
The closest thing you can get to surfing in Missouri. So
actually, I want to try those new boards, those motorized boards and you take on the lake. I'd like to try
I've
one.
never been surfing, but I'd imagine that's what the closest thing to surfing is.
It's never going to feel like surfing to me if I can't paddle out.
Okay.
And I don't have to kick out at the end and come in.
You've been surfing, right?
I surfed 20 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't good or anything like that.
As
I was
long
just
as you can,
fine.
Get
I enjoyed
out there,
it.
and just enjoy it. So.
Oh, it's so peaceful.
Oh yeah.
Knowing you as a human being, you would love the fuck out of surfing.
Oh, I went kayaking the other day for the first time, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I got blisters from the little paddle. I didn't realize, like, oh man, I've been out here too long.
That's cool.
It was like a Lewis and Clark type deal.
Dude, I just went kayaking like 2 weeks ago. We did a float.
Yeah.
It was so fun, medicated.
Oh, dude, you have to do it.
Dude, I gotta be honest. I'm not a crowds kind of guy.
Me neither.
I can keep my shit together. I can be fine. I don't freak out or anything like that. I just greatly prefer not to be in them.
Oh, for sure.
What's that old expression? A person's smart, people are stupid. I think Tommy Lee Jones says it in a 90s movie,
Probably
but
does.
It's exactly correct, right? It's like nobody ever got trampled in a store with 8 people in it. But somehow somebody occasionally dies in a front door in Walmart. So crowds equal bad, and I don't need 88-cent paper towels that fucking badly. So
I've seen women fight over just dish towels in Walmart before on a Black Friday.
Yeah,
it's
I almost
crazy.
got jacked, and I mean straight jacked in the jaw by a grown-ass woman at a Black Friday at a Walmart years ago when I was still stupid enough to go to such things because I wanted this $2 like toaster. I'm sorry, it was a waffle maker, and it was $2, and I just wanted one because I always used to make waffles with my nephews in the morning. In fact, we used to just make omelets in the waffle maker and call them Eggles.
Eggles.
Shout out Dylan and Lucas. Yeah, man. Good times. So I just want this waffle maker for old time's sake. And this lady has a shopping cart and her husband has a shopping cart full of nothing but these waffle makers. And she wants them all and she's bloodthirsty, man. And I mean, she was going to like actually punch me in my mouth.
Oh, she would have.
And I just let her buy the waffle.
She was going to goal line defense you out of
right?
Them. Like you were not walking away with those.
Dude, and in no world do I care.
No, exactly.
I don't fucking understand humans, man. Hey, if you would like a roach clip, you open up that gold can right there on the canna bar.
I don't need it quite yet, but I'm always interested in to see what you have over here.
Please go ahead. You can lift that whole thing down.
Let's bring it on.
That's some more of those raw goods for making blunts and just kind of everything joint related in there. I don't smoke a lot of joints. That was really kind of you to roll me a blunt. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I definitely enjoy it. That's actually where our story was going a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
On the trip, normally I would have a lot of anxiety having to get out of a car and be mostly, naked, like you're just in a pair of trunks, like around people that you don't know and you can't run fast. And maybe there's a bunch of drunk dudes that want to fuck with you and all the normal people shit,
yeah.
right? I mean, come on, we've all been on floats.
Yeah.
Occasionally there's a barge of assholes that goes by.
Dude.
Not every trip, not every year, but occasionally, and you got to wonder because you see some dumb shit happen. And so normally I would have a lot of anxiety. But because I'm completely legal, just to take one of these simple devices with me, dude, instead, I was at peace. I was at ease. The people around me were entertaining. We had a good time talking with each other.
Where did you end up going kayaking? Sorry for interrupting.
One-Eyed Willie's.
Where is that from here?
Go through Camdenton, left at the Brown Cow, down 4 dirt roads, down a hill.
Gotcha. See,
I wish I could tell you, because shout out One-Eyed Willie's. It was a dope trip. And I know they just sold to new owners. And I would love to tell people about it. Maybe we can put it in the comments or something. But they book really nice professional trips. And I think they got a 5 mile, 8 mile, and 15 mile.
Right.
Dude, it was so beautiful.
See, that's far though. Was it like, see, I just like literally, I think Wednesday went out and just like sat in a kayak and like,
okay.
And it was all, there was no current. And he was telling me, he's like, oh, luckily we're not going upstream and there's no current. I was like, oh. Man, I was like, I don't know what it'd be like paddling upstream. I was tired going like a mile, and you're talking like 5 miles. Like, no.
Yeah, but it's downstream, of
so
course.
You went,
they drive you up.
Okay.
Yeah, you get on a bus. They've got the equipment handled for you at both ends. So you just have your carry-on, if you will. Whatever your party supplies are.
Like, get the kayak, put the kayak in, get it out.
Well, you know what's crazy is my gym routine's like 5 days a week now, and I do lats. I don't have any yet, but I work them a lot, and I couldn't believe it. I jump in a kayak for maybe the 3rd time ever, and I was just tooling around, and it was so enjoyable.
Oh, dude, I do not work any upper body out. Like, all my upper body is whatever skateboarding does for you, and like, man, if you have anything that requires a paddle or biking, I think I'd be pretty good at biking. That's another thing.
I'm about to try mountain biking for the first time. Seriously, I bought this patch of property across from me, or I'm in the process of. Oh, yeah? And some kids that live on the other side of it built kind of a casual bike trail, and I'm gonna go try it out. So got a mountain bike with a shock under the ass. Whatever the hell that's about, like a good $500, whatever that buys you in a mountain bike, mountain bike.
They're expensive.
I traded for mine, to be clear. I don't know that I would have given $5 for a bike. See, that's not a toe in the water to me.
I've heard people spending though like $2,000 on bikes before too.
And that's the only reason I mentioned the price. Is because apparently if you know anything about bikes like I do not, when I say $500 mountain bike, I think what I'm trying to communicate is like that level, beginner level.
I mean, it's still that 500, it'll get you something you can take on a trail, I bet. I mean,
dude, it's the coolest fucking bike I've ever owned. The way it worked out was a family friend bought what was a piece of family property that has an orchard in front of it, and she turned it into a high-end manor.
What do you do with the...
I can just leave it right there, brother.
There we
go. Problem. So anyways, I gave her said dining room table from earlier story because I couldn't look at it anymore, knowing it cost me 3 years of lifting weights. Yeah. So I gave it to her because it was definitely of the quality to put in like a high-end manner, and she put it in this cool dining room, which has its own butler's hutch.
Oh, man.
Butler's nook. Let me correct myself. Like with a cart that comes out. A butler's fucking cart. I didn't know such thing existed. Anyways, so she gave me a bike to say thanks for the table. Apparently she bought it, never had a chance to ride it.
Gotcha.
It's pretty gangster, dude. It looks like the Batmobile of mountain bikes.
Oh, dude, you got to use it, man.
Yeah, I got to use it. I'm down to that last, I'm trying to be literal here, 15 pounds of body fat, that's like really got to go. And I feel like biking could do it for me.
You just got to find that one thing that tricks you, man. And that's all I can say is find something that you enjoy, and then it never feels like you're working out or doing anything like that.
Right.
I don't know. And some people, you've had Casey on here too. He goes to the gym.
Yeah, met him at the gym.
He's so just devoted to working out, and he enjoys it so much, and I envy someone like that being able to devote that to a gym. I mean, I do it with skateboarding, but that's easy because skateboarding is easy. It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
I don't know if working out can ever be fun.
Actually, I'm glad we're back on the topic because I want to explain that. But I want to pay a compliment to Casey Berkmeister real quick because.
What's up, Casey?
Yeah, what's up, Casey? He's been on the show twice, and actually in rewatching our episodes. His second episode is probably my favorite that I've done so far because I was so latched on to the conversation. Like it was really engaging.
Oh yeah.
But I'll be the first one to pay a compliment. And when I was going with Rolls Royce from Dolce Fridays, when I was going to the gym with him when we were roommates, we sort of casually knew Casey from just like, what up, man? Right? And it's like, of course, everybody's in there to evaluate themselves. You're evaluating everybody else and you notice people's progress and you don't say anything because that's awkward. But it's like you'll notice who's in there because if you see him every time you're in there, that means they're in there more than you. Yeah. So, right. And we would see Casey and we always paid him a compliment amongst ourselves. Like that kid has the best body in this gym.
Oh, dude, he's
proportioned, like rock star.
The other day I went to breakfast with him and was just talking to him and he was telling me about some of the things he did like early on in his like bodybuilding stuff. I don't know if it was early on bodybuilding or just trying to pack on weight, but he was saying, yeah, you know, I'd wake up and eat 6 eggs every morning and got to the point where I'd just eat them raw because it was faster. I'd for 6 months eat 6 eggs raw every morning. And he was like, what does that taste like? And he was like, oh, it's just like snot. Like, oh, man.
Actually.
That's dedication, I feel like. I don't know.
That is fucking dedication. No, seriously, he's right.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he told you that story because my dad taught me to drink raw eggs when I was a kid as like a machismo thing because of the movie Rocky, right? But here's the thing. I'm right where Casey is. I'm to the point where my breakfast omelet has to be 12 egg whites.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just cumbersome. I mean, you're just fucking cracking eggs and making a mess and it takes time. And it's like, yeah, I got to the point where I figured out that I could crack a shit ton of them and drink it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you can keep a picture of it for like 2 days. But here's the trick. Little splash of half and half like you're making a cup of coffee. And I don't normally put processed sugar in anything. I don't even bake with the shit. But, you know, I have some around for guests and coffee.
Right.
Hey, a teaspoon of that goes a long way. But here's the real secret ingredient is a couple of drops of vanilla extract.
Oh, yeah?
And don't buy bullshit vanilla extract. Fuck that dollar store garbage. Get some goddamn McCormick's like a real human because the flavor profile completely worth the extra money.
I don't know shit about like that type of stuff.
Sugar milk and vanilla extract in egg is basically the recipe for ice cream.
Right.
So when you get that shook up and drink it, it goes down a lot smoother, but it's pretty snotty.
No, dude,
it's like if Rick and Morty, it's like if Rick Sanchez made ice cream, that's what the fuck it would be like.
I think it like, you know, if it came down to it, I could probably do it, you know, crack a couple eggs and I'd do it. But I think it'd take a few tries. I don't think I could keep down an egg. It'd get stuck. It just something mentally would just, I'd try it. I'd do it.
So I'm on this mission right now, trying to get in the best shape of my life because of the setbacks I had, right? Because I lost so much time in the gym. I was on pharmaceuticals for 15 years, and that's like waking up from a dream when you get off those things. And that caused me a lot of problems physically. And then, of course, detaching both biceps. I mean, I was functionally sitting in a chair without the ability to exercise for 3 years. And it took a real toll on my body first. And then my mental state, right? I had been fit my whole life, skated, rollerbladed, sponged, surfed, football, track, sit in a chair for 3 years. It's like soul crushing, man. And the human body goes to shit quickly. Bro, I fell apart. Yeah. So I get back in my routine and I feel so much better. And let me be clear, my mental state is so much better than it used to be. 1, being off pharmaceuticals, 2, being medicated, but mostly the exercise. I don't like my days as much when I can't go to the gym. I just don't feel as good. My cognitive abilities are not as keen. They're not as sharp. And my decision-making process isn't quite as refined. And then I get that really deep level exercise in at some point in the day. And whatever your body releases, whatever those chemicals are, and I know the normal dopamine and stuff like that.
Some type of endorphin.
The endorphins, the adrenaline has some effect on my mental state that my clarity afterwards is unmatched.
I know exactly what you mean. It's just
good stuff.
See, I think I'm ready to move towards the gym atmosphere. Like I've gone past, like, one thing skateboarding's good for is getting you out of your comfort zone, is because you're sitting there and you're at the skate park trying something new, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of people there that are now watching you do this one thing, and now you're falling in front of them, you're, you know, messing up in front of them, and then eventually you get that one trick. But I mean, I've lost my train of thought, but I think the main thing is everyone there at the skate parks is there to help you. And I think that you can obtain that at a gym. It's not like a thing where it's like, oh, everyone there is like, oh, I'm the big mean workout guy.
You're not going to run into much of that. And I'll explain that in a second. But let me preface by saying this. I think it's fucking incredible that you're sitting here talking about getting into the gym for the first time ever. Really?
I mean, I've been
really getting in.
I've done weights in class, but I felt like, oh, I signed up for the class. I'm supposed to be there. Like that's what I'm there for. But like, I don't know. The gym was never a fun place for me. And when I would work out with individuals, I just didn't do it correctly.
It's hard. It's hard to work out with other people.
Right.
I mean, would you go to work and work with someone else like that? Right.
Probably not.
No? I mean, if you had, even assistants aren't like buddied up with you in that regard. You know, you wouldn't go like, hand me a pen, you know, hand me a piece of paper kind of a thing. And that's the equivalent of a buddy workout. Now, I'm not dogging buddy workouts because a lot of people need the energy of somebody else. Mm-hmm. Right. But what I was jacked on a second ago was that you are comparing the workout you get skateboarding, which is where you're getting all this wonderful exercise right now. In your mind, you're comparing the gym. And why that's like so monumental, why I'm so pumped on it right now is that was exactly me.
Yeah.
I started skateboarding at 8.
That's early.
Right? Like seriously skateboarding on a daily at 8 because the cool 13-year-old kid in the neighborhood did it.
So that's like the prime spot too. That was
I started late.
And there's a lot of great skaters too in that time too.
Dude, you get sponsored by 8 now. What's the famous case? Homeboy with a show. He's like the best.
I mean, there's Nigel Houston that was like,
oh yeah, Nigel's amazing.
And then
younger than him. The Baby Blocks spelled his name on cover of Thrasher. He's the big shitty on MTV show.
I know who you're talking.
It hurts me. I'm not saying his name. Yeah, Sheckler, of course. Ryan Sheckler, right?
Yeah, a little shithead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was sponsored at 8. So me starting at 8 meant shit.
Well, there's there's the even the Japanese scene too. There's kids there that are tray flipping down 6 steps, like, and they're
10.
Oh, they're in grade school.
Yeah, yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's like, oh man, I ollied a 3 stair and I felt cool.
Well, but see, this is what's so cool about you right now in real life. Us as good friends, you're comparing skateboarding, which you do currently for your exercise, because you enjoy it for enjoyment.
And I mean, I don't know.
But you're comparing it to the gym, and here's my point: is that was exactly me. As I start skateboarding at 8 and rollerblading at 10, surfing at 10. I didn't buy a sponge till I was like 20 because I was too cool. Like, you surfed, bro. Like, buy a stick. Anyways, whatever, kid stuff. But I did everything, right? And that's how I got my exercise, and I loved it. And then at 19 years old, I'm a sponsored skater. I'm working in a skate industry. I'm working at a skate distribution. I'm putting out skate products. And my girlfriend at 19 is cheating on me with some dude that was in the gym all the time.
Right.
And I'm a fucking kid. And I don't know that she's just a piece of shit human that shouldn't have done that, or she's just a kid too, right? She's 19. Mm-hmm. But she flat out tells me that I'm basically a skinny skater guy, and she kind of likes bigger dudes, and that's what girls like is bigger dudes. Well, I'm just a 19-year-old kid and I'm crushed. Mm-hmm. And there was this cop that worked at the skate distribution. I always thought that was so sideways, right? We'd like wax his car and shit. Anyway, but I finally made friends with him because, you know, traditionally skateboarders and police probably not going to be friends, but he was a great guy. And I realized I was defacing public property and I was going to work on that. I'm sorry. And we just kind of made friends. And I went to him and I was like, hey, dude, you obviously work out. You're a huge person. Mm-hmm. Would you teach me some shit? And it was so weird for me being in Southern California, Huntington Beach, arguably the coolest place on planet Earth.
There's a lot of like reputable skate spots there too.
I mean, it's the juice, right?
Oh yeah.
And so you got this true creative vibe of originality always just emanating from Southern California. And this is sort of one of the epicenters. And then I go into gyms for the first time and it looked like the corniest shit I had ever seen in my fucking life. Like to be working in a place with a skate shop upstairs and downstairs and that kind of visual in your mind all the time. And then to walk into a Bally's, I was like, these people are all assholes. What the fuck is going on here? It was the hardest culture for me to want to get into, and I never did, to try and get into for a minute. I think what it is you got to make your own current.
Oh, right. And like, to me, I mean, I don't know. I skateboarded with a few people. Like, I've never I skateboarded when I was 10, just around my neighborhood, nothing crazy. And I got up to 255 pounds. I mean, didn't do anything. One of my buddies all of a sudden was like, hey, remember we used to skate, blah, blah, blah. There's a skate park by your house. I have an extra board. Let's go. And I was like, all right, I went there and it was really fun. And I was like, oh man, I stayed here for 3 hours and sweated all day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the most fun I've had in a long time. I felt like a kid. Like, and then, I mean, it just was like, from there on, it was history. I mean, I don't see skateboarding to me as like, I mean, yeah, there's cool, like, you can get into like the scene of skateboarding and it's a fun scene. But I mean, skateboarding, I mean, if you ride transition at all, I mean, it's leg work. I mean, it's just a bunch of squats all day.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and that's how I viewed it. I viewed it as, maybe as a kid, I viewed it more as like, oh, I'm a cool skateboarder kid. But I mean, as me now, I mean, occasionally I'll buy a Sailor Moon t-shirt or some Dragon Ball Z stuff, but like nothing too crazy. But I'm just a fan of finding something that makes you active and gives you that feeling after like a workout of the I did something and didn't sit on my ass. And
absolutely.
And I don't know if, you know, the gym isn't something that should be like avoided.
Well, I mean, let's lay it out there this way. If you want to lift the pin on exercise, I think that if you're just looking at the core principle of it needing to be benefiting your body through activity, right?
Yeah.
Like at the core essence of it, this isn't you feel bad about yourself. You have to pay a bunch of money to sign up for a gym and buy an expensive bag and clothes and go look a certain way. At the core of it, it should be I need to be healthier. Mm-hmm. And in modern life, it's a little easier than it has been for all of human history. And so I got to do some exercise. I got to do a little work. And so if you put it that way, I don't see any reason why we couldn't start recommending skateboarding to a lot more people.
That'd be cool.
And I'm going to say this about skateboarding. I enjoy about it that it was so underground and earned its place in society, right? In the zeitgeist, in the cool. It earned its place so hard that it's got an exclusivity feel to it, right?
Yeah, it does.
A lot of people wouldn't skate because they don't feel cool enough to skate. And I kind of secretly enjoy that about skateboarding because it fucking earned it. But and it is bare bones cool.
You can still get that feeling about like, oh, I put in the work. I'm here sitting, I'm kick flipping in front of all these people, and I mean, like you put in the work for every trick that you do. So when you go out there, but then you can also see everyone else that is trying those tricks, and they're like, oh man, I've been there. I've bashed my ankles a million times trying to kick flip. Oh my god, bashed them bloody.
Still have shins that are chipped. Man, you know? Like, that's never coming back.
Oh yeah, no, my shoulder is not the same. I've fallen too many times.
Always catching yourself with that same arm.
It sticks up that much more than the other side.
Well, you know, just to my point of it being an overall just good idea for an exercise activity, I wish that it was more of an open forum, if you will, with skateboarding, that like more of your average individual felt compelled to just, run by Target, buy the piece of shit Nash skateboard or whatever they sell, and just go to a skate park and go roll around. And I'm sure that people say my age, I'm 42, your age, you're?
I'm 26. Okay. 26.
So 42 see skateboarding, your average person, very differently than 26, very differently than 16. And I'll bet you when they drive by a place that you skate, they don't identify and think I could go skate there. They probably drive by a gym and go, maybe I should sign up for that. But isn't that interesting? Maybe we should be recommending skateboarding as exercise to people, because think about it. Even if you just do it by yourself, think about the cardio and the hand-eye coordination, the balance, right? I mean, I don't know what it's called when it's your feet. I assume that's still the same term. But
I mean, it's not typically for everybody. I mean, if you have no balance and you struggle and you hurt yourself more on a board, I mean,
no, you can definitely fall and get hurt a little bit.
I mean,
I understand it's not for absolutely everybody.
Bit of it too. It's like, oh man, are you willing to be able to take the cuts, the bruises, the pain of skateboarding?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Okay. Let's lift the pin on really skating, because I feel like real skating. I'm not talking about the exercise I was going to recommend for your average person. Yeah, all I was going to say is, you know, it'd be cool if a person that's compelled to go run in a park would consider it a viable option to just go roll on a skateboard. Mm-hmm. Really. I mean, who really loves skateboarding? Enjoyers of inertia.
Oh, right.
I mean, you're really just sort of enjoying your human spaceship and interacting with inertia. That's really all a skateboard is. Mm-hmm. And you're finding ways to make that look cool. Mm-hmm. Anyways, my point is real skateboarding, though, in my humble opinion, the bit of it that I did, and I was by no means an exceptional skateboarder.
You were probably in more of a scene and way better than I was, probably.
We were around some great skaters. I wasn't in any kind of scene.
Is an amazing part, too.
Amazing spot for great skaters.
Was it 90s?
Yeah, it would have been like early 90s through about 2000. I mean,
Chris Cole's out there during that time.
Oh my God, Eric Costin.
Yeah, Eric Costin.
Bucky Lasik.
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, came through Long Beach. I'm not saying these dudes live there, but certainly like convention center events, these guys would be there, and there were trade shows, and everybody skated Long Beach for different videos.
Then there's
some epic rails.
Long Beach is probably like what, 2 hours, 3 hours from San Francisco?
8
hours. Okay, I'm way off. Okay. But there's like, I mean, the whole coast of California. It's just
a skate scene.
One big bus ride down, and then you've hit, San Francisco. Hollywood High. That's close to Long Beach, right?
Hollywood's about an hour from LB.
Okay, but still, a bus ride down there, a car ride, and you're hitting. The Toro, a bunch of famous spots are all out.
Ton of famous skate spots in Long Beach. Been in lots of videos, right? Yeah. So, there were a lot of really good people back then. It was really inspiring, and I think that probably
is Toro out there. I can't remember. I have no idea.
Are you talking about El Toro?
Yeah, El Toro, or is it the lion? There's a 25 set stair. I can't remember, and then there's like another 16 stair. Mixed up too. They tore one of them down and they rebuilt it and then blocked it off, and now I'm mixing them up and I can't remember. But
I landed a 19 stair on rollerblades once.
Oh Lord, that's more. I think 3 stairs that may have been the equivalent of one big stair is the most I've ever even attempted.
Oh yeah, on a deck, 5 stairs is a bunch for me. I wasn't great, but I liked anything that rolled.
Rollerblades. I have no. I watch people at the park that'll go there and they're going back and forth on their little blades and stuff. And I have no idea, man. That's I feel like I'll fall on it.
If you look up what those guys do today, it's absolutely fucking outrageous the amount of time they spend on handrails and what they do on them. It's an impressive sport. I never really understood why the skateboarders had beef.
I didn't. I had no idea.
Surfing and sponging, right? Fuck out of here with that. I just, there's always beef between stuff. I just think it's the joy of rolling. Put something on, be active, push wood, whatever you want to do, fuck out there. Yeah. But what I was talking about with like actually skateboarding that I think is different is, I played a little bit of football. I ran a little bit of track. That's real team stuff. That's literally passing a baton. That's literally passing a ball, right? Right. Skateboarding is Long Beach City College at 12:30 a.m. just trying to throw a kickflip off of one stair 100 times and scraping your ankle and rolling it and busting your elbow, and somehow you caught your cheek on a plant. What the fuck? You go home, beat the fuck up. There was an audience of 0. There was no applause when you did stick it. You were doing it because you wanted to improve something you cared about, right, and you wanted to be better at it.
And it's just you out there too. You're not on a team. You don't have a coach. You don't have someone teaching you. You're learning on your own. You're figuring it out on your own.
Yeah.
I mean,
you spend a lot of time in introspection.
In Long Beach, there's probably a lot of people that are also, going down the same type of stairs or doing.
Oh yeah, you'd run into people.
You have people that'll be able to help you, but at the end of the day, it's this single player sport, it's only you on the board. So
I think that's so important though, because I think unfortunately in today's world with media the way it is, like what we're doing here, right? It's so easy to be seen, and we have such a large population. It's easy to get followers because even a very small percentage of that population probably jives with you.
Right? Oh, right.
I think because of that, people are growing up in a sort of spotlight, right? Even if it's just their Facebook with all their friends at school and stuff, you grow up with a certain amount of attention, and people that don't even know can pay attention to you. People that don't even know you can comment whether you've done a good job or bad job on something. So I think because of that, people have sort of a warped sense. Younger people today coming up, how could they not? I think they have sort of a warped sense of what it means to have introspection. I think that they're getting so much self-esteem from likes and comments and paychecks because of those outlets. I don't think that that is the same introspection as actually spending time by yourself, trying to improve yourself with nothing but that mirror.
Right.
You know, am I going to throw 100 kickflips tonight? Am I going to throw kickflips until I stick 5 in a row? I'm the one setting the goals. Is it just this stair?
It's whatever.
How about that 2 stair over there? Right. And so the self-improvement was a soliloquy. And I don't think that happens when you got cameras pointed at you and people commenting on you, and they've obviously looked and they're swiping a direction. I think that's sad, man. And that's one of the things that I really like to promote about skateboarding to people that maybe are thinking of sticking a toe in.
Yeah,
it's soulful.
I mean, I could talk all day about it, and all my friends know I talk about it a lot too. So.
We'll talk about it then, man, because what I said is
sure.
just one aspect of skateboarding. I mean, talk about the inertia, though. Talk about how it feels just to roll around on a board.
Oh, you can't describe it. I mean, it's just fun, amazing. I don't know. You feel like you're in just a zone. You can just ride back and forth on a ramp, or just riding down the side of the road. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, I guess.
How hard do you think it is to learn skateboarding?
I mean, it depends on what you want to do. You have to set your own goal. And it's like, if you want to learn how to just ride the board, very easy. If you want to learn to tray flip a 5-stair, probably pretty hard.
Okay, so let me clarify then. Let's talk to your average person who's thinking about getting a gym pass, like you're talking about doing.
Oh, a gym pass.
So you're obviously fit enough that you're considering going to a gym, but maybe you got to prove.
You don't even have to be big. There's a guy on Instagram. I think I might get it. Is Gruddy Hoagie or something like that? He's
Gruddy Hoagie.
Something like that.
I think I like this human.
And I don't know how big. He's a bigger gentleman, and he skateboards. And I mean, I have friends that are bigger than I am, or were as big as I was when I started, or even bigger, who skateboarded way better than I am now, and are still that big, who are better than I am.
Oh, I don't think size matters. I was saying, I think we're talking to people that are of whatever age, doesn't matter, but generally fit enough that you already have a gym pass, or you're thinking about signing up for one.
It'll save you money from a gym for sure. I mean, I did. Prior, I was 255 and I got a gym membership, and I worked out for 3 months, lost 15, 20 pounds in the 3 months. And then I started skateboarding then. And then once I started skateboarding, just never went to the gym. Didn't look back, never went. And then
got on a skateboard, rode the opposite direction of the gym, haven't gone back.
Just did the gym, and I couldn't tell you how long I've been doing it now. It's probably, I started 3-4 years ago, and it's just ever since then gradually gone down. And even since then, I was like, well, soda makes me tired when I skate. And I was like, well, no more soda then. So let's just stick with that. And then water, coffee.
Sure. Well, that's
occasional beer, but
occasional beer, of course. That's that beautiful self-perpetuating cycle, though, right? Is now that you're vested in something that you're passionate about, that you at least love, right? Like you love to skate.
I want to be able to do it longer, at least.
Right. So now you want to do it longer. So now it knocks the next domino down, which is, hey, I'm going to drink less soda. Okay, well then that next domino falls because now you lost a couple of pounds. And then the next domino falls because now you're doing different tricks because you lost 30 pounds.
Believe it or not, it was way harder than quitting cigarettes.
What was quitting soda?
I still have dreams about soda. I don't
dream about soda.
I don't have dreams about cigarettes. Like,
you have any wet dreams about soda,
no,
or by nature are they all wet?
I'll be in a dream where I like ordering something from a restaurant, and I'll be like, oh, give me a large soda.
And one large soda, please. You're like, let me get a 175
Dr.
ounce.
Pepper was my jam, so I'd be like, give me a big old Dr. Pepper. Or my favorite was Tropic Berry Sprite from McDonald's.
Jesus Christ.
I love me some Tropic Berry Sprite.
That sounds like an edible food-like substance.
Oh, it's amazing Sprite. And now it's just like I quit for a year. Like originally it was like, well, how long can I not drink soda? And then it was like, well, I made 3 months. See how long I can do it now. And I was like, oh, 6 months. I was like, well, let's do a year. And I've done a year. It's like, well, I've done a year. Well, let's just not do soda anymore, because it's
good for you, man. I mean, seriously, that's gorgeous.
I don't know if I'm not saying I'm not going to drink soda, but like,
sure,
it's just not something that I really want to drink. Don't get me wrong. I've had like Kool-Aid or Gatorade every once in a while, but it just, I would wake up and drink soda. and like have a Mountain Dew, go to bed, drink a Dr. Pepper, and
oh
like,
shit, you just had a ticket for the gout train.
I didn't drink coffee, and that was my caffeine. That's how I woke up was a soda.
Mountain Dew.
And
that stuff's highly caffeinated.
But now it's the reason I couldn't drink coffee. I felt like it's just my palate was just so used to something so sweet.
Sure.
And I mean, your palate, for me, I felt like it's changed after a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if anyone's thinking of like, man, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, just cut soda, because that's easy. And then if not, like if you don't want to cut weight, you just want to be this, you eat more, drink less. I'd rather have a candy bar versus a soda, and that's what a soda is just a candy bar and a drink.
You know, man, I hope that this is in no way offensive to you, because I don't know.
No, I'm hard to offend. So
good. I don't know. I didn't
intend this to be a health podcast either.
Dude, this is an everything podcast. Welcome to the Cardo Show.
No, hell yeah. Well, we can divert to something else too.
No, I actually want to talk about soda specifically. Here's facts. This is a trip to me, but the human body only has to ingest 3,200 calories to build a pound of fat, is my understanding.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's around there, right?
Adds up.
Most people that are heavy soda drinkers drink that in a day.
Yeah.
Okay? Flip that bottle around, Chief. That motherfucker is like, this big, and you're drinking 4 of them.
12-ounce cans, like 170 calories.
Yeah. So most people that are heavy soda drinkers and don't drink diet soda, because like I used to drink 12-pack of Diet Coke, equally bad because of the artificial sweeteners, and I'm off that too. But
I'm also saying if you drink soda, keep drinking soda. Don't quit.
Man.
I'm not telling people.
Everybody should have one once in a while. But
you're an adult. Be your own person.
But here's the problem. I don't think people are doing the math on this, or humanity's doomed because they've done the math and they're still drinking this soda. But here's what I'm saying. By the math we just laid out, that means you're gaining a pound of body fat a day. A pound a day just drinking soda. Now, yeah, you're burning part of those calories, but I'm willing to bet you were already also eating over 2,000 calories, right? If you're the kind of person that's drinking 3,200 calories a day in soda, you're gaining a pound of fat on your body every day you're awake doing that.
Man.
So here's what I'm saying. You are choosing to have less self-esteem, less good mobility. You're choosing to have all of that gnarly stuff run through all of your kidney, livers, intestines, your whole system, all that processed crap, and feeling like you look bad and having to deal with all of the rigmarole that comes with being overweight just because of the soda.
Right.
How fucking addicted can a human being be to the taste of a little bubbly sweet water that you're like, I'll just take the rest of my life being like that in all these major aspects as long as I get that soda, right? But I don't think people think about it that way, because when you lay it out in those terms, it sounds ridiculous. And then maybe people want to evaluate. But like I said, I hope that doesn't offend you, because I'm not pointing that at you. I'm saying most of us never considered just how bad the things we were doing really were for us.
You're right.
But I feel like soda is this enigma.
Mm-hmm.
It's like insane that people are still drinking regular soda like that.
I mean,
just soda.
It's so good. I completely understand. And
here I am on my
in my heyday, I could chug, a 12-pack, no problem. Like, and not blink twice.
Sure.
So I mean,
But here's the thing: you probably never sat down ever one time for any reason or had cause to think what I just said to you. But if you really thought about it, that it seems like a simple 1-to-1 ratio where just quit drinking the soda and the rest of your life will actually improve.
Oh, right.
Right? And I don't think people think about it that way. And that's what's a real shame in our society, I think, with the way our educational system's set up. I don't think we really walk people through nutrition at any age correctly.
I mean, the whole
but not a young enough age.
The health pyramid is a whole scam.
Oh, yeah, that thing's a joke. I'd love to talk about it. Would you like to take a quick restroom break?
Sure.
Grab a cup of coffee.
Sure.
I would love it.
Are we?
Yeah, just leave them roll. Come on, think about it, though. The Sesame Street song starts out sunny days, chasing your cares away. Maybe it says chasing your blues away. Stony days, making your days dolce. That's a fucking song, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't even know where we left off. But...
Well, we're still talking about skateboarding in the gym, and I would really like to lift the pin on that one more time, because I like telling the story of how I got into lifting weights and what I really thought about it.
For sure.
Did you want greens on this, brother?
Go for it. I just think, if you're able to, and just try it out. I don't know. Or find something that you like to do that's active. But.
Sure. No, absolutely. So
and I've never been like a huge advocate for it either, but I've just felt like I've felt better since I've been more active in the past,
Well, I never saw you 255 pounds, but
you saw me 230.
Okay.
At least 230 when you first met me. When we were going to Steak and Shake often, I was 230, probably 235.
When we were going to Steak and Shake often, so was I. And that ain't me hating on Steak and Shake, man. Their food's fine with me. It's just we were eating a lot of it. Those were in the days I couldn't work out though, and I wasn't so concerned about diet. That's kind of part of my point of this whole repertoire is it gets you really down when you've got poor self-image, and when you don't have the ability to improve yourself, it feels awful. It feels powerless. Mm-hmm. The opposite can be true where someone's never really thought about it that way. They've never worried about improving themselves. And now you can just plain feel empowered that you can literally change your body.
Well, even just move aside from gym, moving aside from going to a park. I mean, my brother has lost 100 and some pounds.
It's amazing. Yeah, good for both you guys.
Huge. All he did is he just bought a bike at his gym. He bought a bike off of Amazon that's like 100 and some bucks, and just started riding that in front of his computer or in front of his TV.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Every day,
if you're doing nothing to improve yourself physically, doing anything is a giant leap, right?
He doesn't enjoy it, but he enjoys the fact that he's lost that much weight.
Absolutely.
So,
but see, that's the problem. That's like a diet. People hate diets, so they don't stick to them. If you don't enjoy what you're doing for the physical activity, you won't stick with that activity. Now, maybe he'll stick with activity in general. Maybe he'll stay an active person that way.
I think he enjoys being healthier.
I feel like I'm missing my hat all of a sudden.
I didn't know if you had a hat to begin with.
That's a great stoner moment. My head will absolutely bother me if I realize my hat is missing.
Hey, Aiden, if it's 3 a.m. and you're editing this, I'm sorry for how long we've talked about absolutely nothing.
I was like, God, why does my head feel funny? I was like, oh, it's open to the world.
Oh, God. The episode's going to be absolutely just skateboarding and exercise.
No, that's totally okay. But let me jump back on this topic real quick. Thanks, man. It always bugs me when I don't have a hat with me.
Oh, yeah. I just now realized you didn't have one now.
I'm just such
You're
a
complete.
Hat. My whole life. Yeah, it's funny. You just have your comfort zones, right?
Right.
Anyway, so with skateboarding compared to the gym, which is where I keep trying to jump back to, I think what we're really trying to do here is just recommend exercise to people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. But what I'm saying about the gym culture being so different from any other culture in the world is kind of exactly what you said. I think people are intimidated by the gym because they're scared to go in there and they feel like they're going to look stupid.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's a big one.
I mean, I literally have no idea what some of these machines do. Like,
sure.
And it's funny, you see people getting using their forehead with stuff. Okay, a little bit right. That's not for your forehead, but
right.
That's the fear, is looking like that one guy and getting on the internet.
Yeah. Well, here's my theory. Because I quit the gym recently and I did it for a price that I think anybody paying a gym membership could afford. And that was, I bought a Bowflex.
Oh yeah. And
a couple of racks of weights. And it was like $100 a month compared to, I bought mine outright, but right. I did the math on it. So if you did the financing through Bowflex, which is like $85 a month for the particular model I bought. And then you got to go buy some supplementary weights and you got to get some straps and some things that you really need to lift right. But I think anybody doing nothing, that's building a magic castle compared to anything else, right? Like you're going to jump on a whole home gym setup from not going to the gym to that. You've really accomplished a start. And now it's will you implement it and use it, right? And I think that's different than anything else because whether it was skating in a park on a pair of rollerblades or rolling around a skate park or going to a public gym, I think people are always going to commit better at home. And that's kind of part of my spiel when I talk about working out. Is I already don't think groups of humans work. Like I was talking about somebody being trampled in a Walmart.
Right.
That's a ludicrous idea to me. In real life, you can die in the doorway of a Walmart due to too many people. That's a stupid idea to me. I don't think groups of humans work. And so the reason the gym doesn't work is you got to show up worried about what you're wearing and if you're standing correctly and who's looking at you. And why does that chick keep popping her ass in the mirror? We're all just trying to focus here. Be professional. Hey, why is this guy always trying to sell me supplements? And in the midst of that, you're supposed to learn about your body, learn about how you do these exercises you also have to learn, and then improve at it, and then maintain and get better at it. Oh my God, that just sounds impossible.
Right.
Okay. And all of that has to do with the fact that you had to get dressed and drive to a gym and be in an environment where you're trying to improve yourself in the presence of others. And there's no benefit to that in most cases.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but
Not good.
I mean, at a certain point, you just have to not care.
I disagree. I think you have to get in your own space. I think you got to make your own current.
Okay, right.
So here's the thing.
Whatever it takes to get you there, I guess, is what I think you need to do.
So I wanted to talk about the gym being fun, and this is that moment. So hear me out on this. Compared to what you saw when you walked in the door of a gym and what we've experienced and the fears we just described, right? Compare that to when I work out, there's nobody home in most cases.
Yeah.
If there is, it's my girlfriend. It's fine, right? So there's nobody to judge me that I'm concerned for that doesn't already know who and what I am.
Yeah.
So the most honest I can be with myself and what I need to work on is probably to be naked, but I don't think it's safe to work out that way. So what I do is, just a pair of boxer shorts kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Just underwear. So you can really see what you're working with. And honestly, be honest with yourself and see what you need to improve. Honestly, though, is the real key phrase there. Because when no one's around, you don't hold your gut in. You don't puff your chest out. And you're in a mirror, in your underwear, but prepared. And let me set the mood for you. I can't work out under these like crisp fucking corporate lights that they put in all the gyms, right? Like you're jacked, you're motivated, you're listening to your music, you walk in the front door and it's just like fluorescent hell. Nobody looks good in those lights, and I don't want to work out in this fucking storage unit feel, And then there's all these people around me, and some are charged up, and some are like, sweating their ass off, and then I got to work on that machine. All right, none of that's in my head. And I realized that if I really want to focus on just the human form and really be enthralled, I need to stay immersed in my workout. And a nightclub setting popped up in my mind. So the reason that it works for me so fucking well, bro, is because think about how much fun it is to go to a nightclub and dance. You're being active, right? It's positive vibes. It's positive energy. You're having a good time, and you're interacting with space inside your body is a good way to say it, right? There's that inertia I was talking about earlier. It's fun to dance.
Right.
What's really cool about having a gym that I have light setups for, and it becomes a nightclub atmosphere, is that I will dance when I'm by myself without the fear of anyone seeing me like I would never dance otherwise. And so what I'm getting at is I turned my home gym into a nightclub setting. And so I work out, not in the dark, that would be dangerous, but in low colored lighting. And it's got some professional grade lighting in there that makes it set up like a DJ would have a setup. And I go in there, and with good waterproof noise canceling headphones, bro, that is my time to let go, right? To let go of a lot of things.
It's
anger and stress from the day. Yeah. Absolutely a sanctuary. It's a space for learning about myself. No bullshit. I have to focus on improvement. Being able to gauge how well I'm doing by seeing myself in there and, keeping notes, keeping a board. But the environment is so fucking fun that it's like going to a nightclub for a couple hours and then you come out and your workout's done. So what I'm doing to keep my heart rate elevated is like sort of casually dancing between sets. And I know how ludicrous that sounds, but here's the thing. Anybody that's been in a corporate gym under those lights, around those humans with that equipment, standing there, compare that to working out in a nightclub where there's no one there to judge you.
There's no comparison. I mean,
dancing my pocket. Right. I'm just fucking around because who cares?
comparison.
And it's so human to just let go and feel good. And I think that your workouts come from a different place when you can really afford to focus on you because there's no distractions. Your form's better. You focus on what you should be doing instead of just getting the weight up because someone's waiting on the bench. You're here to improve and you have a chance to really do it. And so when you were talking about the gym not seeming fun, but you're describing skateboarding, all those years I spent in corporate gyms like Bally's and Golds and stuff like that, working out, I didn't know there was a difference, but I always missed skateboarding. So what it really was that I missed the fun element of my exercise. What's more fun than a fucking nightclub? So I'm lifting weights in a nightclub. I'm getting my exercise. And what it is, bro, the reason I'm trying to make that connection is I came from one of the purest realms of skating in two ways. And then you walk into this gym environment, which has the worst clothing style on the planet Earth. I dare say the style wouldn't exist if it wasn't so bad. It's just so muted and terrible. Anyways, so you got these terrible styles that I'm not used to, and this look I keep describing I can't stand. And I just always had to go to the gym because you have to go to the gym for your fitness and your mental state. But goddamn, they're so boring. Oh, and I never knew there was any different. And now I'm working out in a nightclub and I'm in the best shape of my life. And that's my point. If people want to get fit and stay fit, they got to find their joy.
Oh, right. Yeah. You have to be in it. You
find your joy, man. And if it's skateboarding, go get your exercise skateboarding. If it's the gym, but you got to turn it into a nightclub, get jacked and go do that.
If you have a bunch of money, go get a jet ski. Jet skiing's tight. You know, that's a big leg workout. You lose weight jet skiing.
Doesn't a jet ski just get you a beer belly, tan lines, and loose chicks?
Depending on where you want to take it. I guess wherever you go with the jet ski is what you want to do with it.
You know what's funny you say that? I know a few people that own jet skis and I have nothing negative to say about them. I have clients that sell jet skis and I think jet skis are fun. But there's this expression that at least one of my circles I run in uses in marketing, where if you want to sell one of those like dumb, douchey, machismo products, you're like, I want to sell one of these to every guy that owns a jet ski. What is that? Like, I'm not judging. I don't know where the expression came from.
Yeah.
But it sounds about right.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know where this entire guy has gone, but ultimately, find something that you really like doing and do it. Whatever it is. I mean, podcasting, skateboarding, video games, just enjoy what you do, I guess. Don't do it for work. Or if you do it for work, make money doing it.
Well, let me ask you about that before we wrap this show up, man. It's been really fun just to talk with you, to catch up, because we really haven't hung out with the pandemic and such. We probably missed hanging out for a good couple of years,
Years,
And so getting back together these past months, way fun. Super appreciated. But really what I like to do on this show is tell human interest stories. I like to tell human stories of people. And you actually have a really interesting story. Oh, yeah. We've talked about it a couple of times, but let people know a little bit sort of what your journey was, right? You're originally from Missouri, correct?
Yeah, grew up in Columbia and did all that. My dad, I mean, he does do gunsmithing, but that's pretty much it. So, I mean, he does gunsmithing and makes bullets. That's as much as I'd go into on if you want to.
Well, you've told me some really cool stories, and I think that's incredible.
Absolutely. Maybe once I kind of tell him and show him what this is, he might be a little more invested. But he's pretty old school. Yeah. So. Well,
I've heard you say some really nice things about your dad, and that always makes me happy to hear.
Oh yeah,
I'm tight with my dad these days,
he's an amazing guy.
I like it when that's a presence in somebody's life, especially my friends I get to talk with. So I love it. But I think that a big portion of the real story I wanted to tell today was actually what's going on with your mom. And you explained all that earlier. But your mom, amazing woman in her own right for a lot of reasons, right? Mm-hmm. Physician herself.
Oh, yeah. She's a doctor.
2 doctor parents. Yeah. So I was saying, interesting story here, Nick Lacey, because not everybody has two doctors for parents.
Oh, it's definitely
it's an advantage in life, right?
Oh,
I mean, that helped out.
It's not a disadvantage for sure. But.
And it made for a great story because then didn't you and your brother both go into the medical field in some regard?
He went in medical engineering, and I stayed as far away from it as possible. But at this point, I might as well be a specialist on whatever my mom has.
I'm sure you are.
Oh, I mean, anytime I go to the ER, I let them know whatever she needs. Like, I mean, just you've been there enough, and you just know what she needs. And it's like, oh, how do you know she needed that? And I was like, well, you do this so many times, you just know what to say.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, she's recovered. This has been a 7-year ordeal. She's got kidney failure, liver failure, malpractice surgeries, to recovering from surgeries. I mean, she's done it all. I mean,
so without getting too personal, that's some of what I wanted to ask you about. On that side, what's it like from your perspective to watch your mother go through that?
I sympathize for people who have to deal with any type of like Alzheimer's stuff, or that your parent like doesn't know who you are. I can sympathize with that. Anybody who's dealt with, you know, just long-term care and like dealing with care of your parent. I mean, you see them deteriorate, you see them get better. I mean, it's when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's really bad. I mean, that's pretty much how it is. You can take it day by day too. That's really what it is. You do day by day.
Emotional roller coaster for you as the caregiver?
My dad is also a major caregiver too.
Oh, of course. But it's a unique situation for a son to be giving care to a mother, and that's got to be heart-wrenching at times. Am I right?
Oh yeah, it's not fun, but I mean, you just got to do it. I mean, if anybody was in that situation and if you're able to take care of your parent and you're in a situation where they have a place to stay and you don't have to worry about food and all you have to do is making sure that everything's okay at the house. I mean,
what a huge blessing.
Oh yeah.
What a huge blessing.
I mean, you put you in a situation, but ultimately, you know, you gotta break free.
Well, so I'm sure it shaped you as a human to watch your mom go through that.
Oh yeah, I mean, other people. Everybody has something that they're dealing with. I'm sure. I mean,
oh, absolutely, everybody has something. But you know, on the plus side of this situation, I'll bet it's been really uplifting to be able to see your mom have that kind of strength.
Oh yeah,
to see this person you already love so unexplainably deeply have that strength to carry through. And I bet it was pretty inspiring to see your dad stay by your side.
Oh yeah.
And your family to stick together through it. You know, sickness like that can break families apart. I've never heard such a thing about you guys. You're always at home taking care. And there you are at home staying with your parents to help out. And I've got to be honest, man, not every young person would do that, dude.
Yeah.
Not everybody's trying to help out, you know?
True. I mean,
I commend you for it.
Well, there's a bunch of people online that do a bunch of stuff too. Like, I mean, there's Discords for people who are going through a bunch of weird shit. So, I mean, everyone's got a big problem, big bag of shit to deal with. So
everybody's got a bag of shit to deal with in their life.
At some point in time, you do. Whether or not it's a bag of shit or you picking up shit.
Isn't that about the truth of it, man? I like the way you put that right now. But you know what, though, man? I'd like to put a positive spin on it, if you don't mind. I stayed with my dad when I was about to rent a house. I was leaving an apartment, about to rent a house. I stayed with him for a couple of months. I didn't know at the time he might be suspicious that I was trying to stay longer, or just thought I had the intention to. And at some point he cracked a really good joke, but let me know like I'd be gone in a couple of weeks. And we talked about it later. And I certainly wasn't offended. I was just staying with him as I looked for a place. It was hard to find a place to live where I was trying to move to. And when we talked about it, he said something about me staying with him. And I said, but Dad, you realize we're adults now. I'm way an adult now. Like, that's the last time I'm ever going to live with you. And I don't know how he took it at the time, but that 2 months I lived with my dad was actually really special to me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like you live with your parents as a little kid. You don't move home in most cases, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the positive spin I'm trying to put on it, with you being willing to take care of a parent like that, which is really beautiful. But to have that time with them, I know it's got to be challenging. You don't ever
get back. I mean, it's good time too. So
it's really cool for you to be able to do that for your parents, man.
But there's a certain point too. It's where it's just, you know, it's situationally, you know.
Sure.
If, you know, you get bad, you get worse, you get better, but you know, you just have to start thinking about yourself too. So you know, you can't always just be the carer. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, you can care from afar too.
Sure. Well, I think all of us just have like a certain amount of energy, however you want to picture that. And if you're giving a lot of that to somebody else because that life energy in them is a little lower, you know, they need the care and the attention and the interaction. That's got to be draining pretty quickly, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely draining, but I mean overall you do it because it's family.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Not everybody will do it because it's family, and good on you for actually stepping up and doing it. Because you got to admit, I'm not going to say it's the world these days because I don't think it's ever been any different, but the world we live in, a lot of people will act like, you know, I got your back, but they wouldn't really have your back when the moment came. And not everybody would go take care of a parent. And I just think that that's such a powerful part of your story, man, that like you proved in real life what kind of wherewithal you have and where your heart's at. And I think it's kind of a blessing in your life. You had a challenge present itself that you got to step up to the plate for.
Right.
But like, dude, you passed it with fireworks. And I just,
I didn't think it was a test either, though. That's the thing. You just do it. You just do it.
You just do it is right. Yeah. But that was the test that you passed.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody has great loyalty, right?
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I hope my kids, if I get sick like that, would do shit like that. I don't know.
You would hope so.
I don't know.
You got to wonder, what if they just couldn't? What if they just couldn't for different reasons? I mean, there's a lot of
home. Whatever. Put me in a home.
As long as there's good chongo, you'd be cool, bro.
Yeah, give me some chongo. But yeah, no, but
so real shit. Let me ask you, dealing with that level of stress on the days that it's bad, how much does skateboarding give you stress relief in that regard?
Oh, a lot. I think that's a lot of where me liking skateboarding came from, was just a lot of like blow off steam.
Fuck yeah. You know what makes me really happy about that, now that I'm thinking about it? I miss a lot of my friends from California because they were my lifelong friends. How could I not miss them, right? So on a daily basis, still that little twinge, right? And it's so cool. I land where I land, and this is not a land full of skate parks, right?
There's like 3 or 4.
And I'm totally friends with like the only skateboarder in town, right?
Yeah. Well,
I love it that my life worked out that way.
No, yeah, you can meet a lot of cool people skateboarding too.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, cool video games too, and Magic. Just anything that has a strong community too. And that's,
yeah.
And that's why I like a lot of the things like Magic, video games.
Sure. Trading card games in general, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're playing a lot of Pokemon these days.
Yeah,
Dude, tell us about that. Seriously.
Dude, so much Pokemon.
Yeah.
I played when I was a kid. Well, the big story of the century.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. Pokemon story of the century. Well, you heard it here first, Cardo Vodcast.
Speaking of the mother that's sick, so many fights over Pokemon.
Why?
So my mom, I don't know why, but whenever we first got Pokemon cards, my mom wanted us to have a complete set.
Okay.
So, as a kid, you open the cards, you want to throw them around, play with them, throw them across the room, pretend, you're, that's the mom that you
casting it or whatever. That's
whatever.
Cool.
But,
you want to play, you're a kid.
Yeah. But, our mom would be like, oh, those things are cards. And I don't think she knew they were valuable, but she just knew that you had a set. There was a number of them. There was like one out of this many, and you put them in a binder. Why do they sell the binder? Anyway, so we'd open up cards, and any of the shiny ones, you'd get a shiny one. She'd take it from us and put it in a binder, and we couldn't touch it.
Oh my God, she's a secret Magic player, and you just didn't know.
She had no idea. She had no idea what she was doing either. She just wanted the whole set. And
maybe it's not us as Magic players, bro. Maybe the human race has a compulsion to put shiny cardboard in 9-pocket sleeves.
Right, right.
Just like how bees build what they build. We're just like, oh yeah, let's get these packs open. Is that shiny cardboard? 9
And I was young enough to where I don't remember really we're like 4 years old opening cards. Yeah. And I had to ask my brothers, how did she get them from us? I still don't remember them. It was like, we would have to go give them to her. So I vaguely remember after you told us that is we would open a card and we'd get upset because we couldn't use it because it wasn't.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's a good one. And then some of them are kind of beat up because we would hide them and then our mom would find them.
Busted.
But yeah, anyway, so she put them all in a set and we completed it. And there'd be fights over wow, why can't we take our good binder? All the kids would love and see these things, man. We got the complete set. Everyone would love to see it. I was like, well, you don't want to get scammed. And then we'd have kids up the street that would try to scam us for our Charizards or something. And anyways, well, years go by, we forget about them, and they're lost. We've just have lost them.
It's the worst.
Right, and 2015 was the last time we had saw them. Maybe 14, right when we moved into that house, and they weren't that expensive then, but all of a sudden, 2021 pandemic happens. Everyone's spending their money on weird degenerate stuff.
Sure.
Dogecoin, Pokemon, all that stuff. Anyways, so my buddy finds his cards and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go sell them, grade them." It's like, oh shit, let me go see if I can find them. Anyways, I look through my entire basement, turning everything over. And then I find this old doll that, like, Woody from Toy Story, like the pull string. Oh, there's a snake in my boot. Well, that was my jam. My mom made this box of all the things that I liked.
Okay.
And anyway, so I pull it up and I was like, oh, I'll take this upstairs, this box. My mom would love the shit out of this. She made the box, put it all together all nice. And I was like, oh, look, I found it, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm going through the box, and out of the corner, like at the bottom of the box, I see 2 binders.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Score.
And I was like, I know exactly what it is. I was like, oh, I found them. Anyways, pull them all out. There they are, complete set. 2 complete sets of Base Unlimited, Fossil Unlimited, and Jungle Unlimited. Complete.
Talk dirty to me. Like, what does that mean?
I mean, at one point in time, the Base Unlimited, just the first set with 16 cards, if they were graded at 10 at, like, you know, PSA 10, mine aren't PSA 10 by any means, but if they were graded 10 out of 10, it was like $72,000 just for 16 cards.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why do they have such a high value?
Nostalgia, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whatever, the people who are ripping cards online, pandemic, the time we live in. People my age, you know, 30 years old, have kids that are like 8 or 7 years old. And
sure.
Now they are opening Pokemon cards. So old cards are cooler now. Yeah. I mean, what are these things really worth? It's whatever we decide what they're worth too. So.
Oh yeah, totally true, man. I can tell you for sure, I have just picked out of a 5-row a stack of Black Lotuses and just thumbed through them because they were $5.
Right.
Just at a coffee shop in like 1996. Right. I'm just some kid in there, and there's just a guy that's just pushing a cart that he brought from his car. It's like what you would put your luggage on, and it was a couple of 5 rows and a couple of 3 rows. And you're just thumbing through cards, and you got to ask him what the prices are. And I remember just being like, he has a lot of that Black Lotus card, right? Throw those back in the box. I'm not going to pay $5 a piece for these. Yeah. I was like fucking 15 or something, you know.
Man, it's just crazy. Everybody wants to buy something, but it spawned me getting back into Pokemon. As a kid, I never knew how to play the card game. I just collected, and you know, as an adult,
I liked
was
the
like,
pictures.
It's like, why did I never learn how to play it? And I guess my parents would never take me to like Toys R Us to do it. You could buy Pokemon cards at like Walmart or Target, probably. Walmart. My store was Schnucks. Schnucks had it up in Columbia. I don't know. I think it closed down. I think it's an Anytime Fitness now, or Planet Fitness. But there'd be like at the checkout, it'd be either a candy bar or a little Pokemon pack, and you know,
yeah.
My mom didn't want to buy us candy bars because you know,
boom.
So we got Pokemon
TCG.
Cards. Yeah. And then once we started with the Pokemon, she was like, "Oh, now we got to collect them all." And then,
all right, guys.
Now I have 2 kids. Now I got to do 2 complete sets. So, and then she did all that. And then after the first 3, and then she was like, "Oh, there's more sets coming out after that." And like, "Oh, we can't do that." So we only did the first 3.
Speaking of number of sets, I have a comment about what's going on in Magic the Gathering, and that is a perfect segue to the fact that I met you through Magic Group. And I really want to hover on that for a second because I want anybody that actually watches our show one day to really latch on to what a positive thing a trading card game can be. And I guess these days it doesn't have to be Magic the Gathering. I guess Pokemon stayed big, right?
Right.
There's a few games out there that people are playing now, correct?
There's new ones too. Dragon Ball Super is big. I
heard that. And like, Hearthstone actually printed cards, didn't they? Is that correct?
I don't know.
One of the online games went ahead and printed the equivalent of like Paper Magic.
Gotcha.
I didn't rip packs.
I didn't know.
So here's what I'm saying though, is I just want people to get over the stigma of whoever you think is going to be in a comic shop the same way you're worried about who's going to be at the gym, and just find out what works for you. Like, don't worry about this gym and these people. Just get your exercise. Don't lose sight of the goal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Same thing in collectibles. I think you said it well earlier. Anything that has a strong following. Go latch on to the positive energy of people that are charged up about something cool.
Don't get me wrong, too. There's always someone that's going to take something way too far and be way too aggressive about things. Like, you'll get the gym heads that are too aggressive, and then the weird aggressive skateboarders that aren't friendly, and then you get
I had a grown man put a scoop of protein powder in my shaker cup because he was trying to sell me something. The fuck? That could have been powdered roofies as far as I know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. What's happening here? It's a weird culture at the gym, in my humble opinion.
I think you owe me a new beverage, sir. You've messed up my drink. I'd be upset.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, you can't fault the whole gym for one person, but I without meaning to circle back around on that, I do have to say that I can understand as a person that's not already latched onto the exercise, that if you just see a gym or go so far as to walk in the front door of a gym, how it could be kind of intimidating and just kind of look lame. Yeah. I mean, I don't look around today's average gym and go, I want to be that, or I want to do that. He looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really ever wakes up and is like, I want to be a part of that. Or even with especially Magic or Pokemon. It's like, I want to be a part of Magic and Pokemon. But you just do what you like, I guess.
Do what you like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you always got to find your own vein, your own jam, you know, how you want to do it. So like on the card side,
people that are on the same page as you.
That's it. Or people that are jacked on something. Because here's the thing. It really does change who you are as a person in a day to be in a really good mood about something. We all know it. And if you can string together enough good days in a row, I think it has a profound effect on you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you just start to feel better as a human existence because you just had a good week and a good month and like half a good year. And it does something to uplift you in a profound way that I think once you go up that rung, you actually don't come back down from there, except of course through tragedy. I really think that it changes you as a person. And so then the energy you can put into things. And so if you go to a gym and you're intimidated and awkward and you don't like what you're doing, it all seems hard and you feel like you don't know anything and don't know how to learn, who would repeat that process? But actually, I think the whole deal is you need to eliminate the process. I don't think the gym itself is very important. It's just where we built a temple to fitness.
Well, you know? Right. And if you don't know how to do something too, YouTube's your favorite thing.
YouTube's your best
YouTube
pal.
Taught me how to cook, taught me how to do a lot of things. I mean, change a tire. Oh, I called my dad first, and then he was like, trying to explain it to me over the phone, and then it was like, just watch a YouTube video, and I was like, all right, and then it was like, thanks, Dad, that's the best advice you've given me.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is like, I'm not one of those people that believes because it's on the internet it's true. In fact, the total opposite. Anybody can post their opinions on the internet, and so you can't read that shit like fact. But I never do an activity in my adult life without first watching some other human do it on YouTube, because you know why? It's real simple. How dare I not? I got the Library of Alexandria in my pocket. I'm about to do an activity I don't know how to do. How do I not watch a few other people fucking attempt it first?
Right.
Like you'd be an idiot not to, right? So, but it's so annoying because now I go to cut a cigar and I'm like, fucking YouTube might show me how to do it better. I got to go watch some videos.
Let's watch some videos.
And it's like a half an hour. I come back and still have a cigar uncut, you know?
Right.
So it could be cumbersome, but I look
YouTube
everything
will teach you a lot of things.
Fuck yeah, well.
Yeah. Dude, and there's a new thing, Skillshare.com. I've been thinking about doing. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like a bunch of people that'll like, it's like a community center bulletin board of people teaching skills. Like, say if you want to learn how to animate, if you want to learn how to produce something on YouTube and run a successful YouTube channel, they run classes for it.
Really?
And it's just a subscription base. It's like $5 or $10 a month, and you can just go sit in classes of people like, I want to learn to draw today.
Just sit and listen.
Just sit and listen, and they have like lesson plans too.
So it's like $5 a month college.
It's $5 a month better than college because it teaches you things that like there's classes on how to do your taxes. Like there's literally if you have a skill to share.
Makes sense.
It's on
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, or
That's
fly fishing.
Dope.
I bet there's people on there that skateboard. I mean, teach you how to Pokemon or teach you how to do whatever. But
you know what's amazing to me about the level of fanaticism?
Sponsor me, Skillshare.
yeah. Give Nick the sponsorship. When humans really get into something, when they really get invested in something, it's incredible how far they can take it, and what a good job they can do of it. Right. I mean, I'm not talking about the stuff that's a sort of a one-off, like the girl that can accurately hit bullseyes with a bow and arrow with her feet. Like that's incredible. That's an amazing skill. But I'm talking about just your general average person goes, I want to be a little more fit. I want to learn to cook a little bit. I want to learn to skateboard. And the next thing you know, you're pretty good at some stuff. I think that the human capacity for learning is outrageous. And I believe that our brains are considered the most complex computers in the known universe, right?
Yeah, you got a big old neural net going up through here.
Yeah, so your capability to do things is pretty incredible. And I think it's so amazing that we've developed a platform like you're describing, and I've heard of Skillshare a little bit, where we can just sit in classes and learn shit. That's fucking incredible, because I feel like your average person could just be investing that little bit of money a month and really actually benefiting, because it trips me out. People get so invested in something that they somehow know that if I was to supinate my hand another 12 degrees or whatever he just said in the video, it totally changes what I'm doing compared to what I was doing before. How do you know that? And then there's a study done later and science behind it and whatever, but these people have done that kind of reading. They're invested on that level that they really actually know how to get this right. It's pretty profound to watch. You ever just watch people that are just experts at shit?
Oh yeah, dude. There's people that are just, I mean, I sit and watch people gut fish online sometimes. Just like,
wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Just watching people like, oh man, I've never, like, I wanted to go buy a whole fish at one point and be like, man, maybe I need to learn how to gut a fish.
Learn to do it.
So I watched this guy, and then he literally sat down and then showed you how to cut every variation of fish that you can imagine, like
interesting
cod, big flat fish like that, rainbow trout, salmon. I mean, it's pretty simple when you come down to it. You're just filleting a fish, but I mean, there's different styles of doing it.
Well, but you know what though? Anything you've never done before is difficult. And it's kind of an alien idea if you think about it. If you've never cut a fish open, if nobody took you camping as a kid and helped you catch a fish and showed you what to do so that you could eat it without wasting it, if nobody ever did that for you, it's got to seem pretty weird to see a fish and think I'm supposed to take this knife and do what now? I mean,
it just goes back to like just watching someone who's done it professionally. Like you'll go watch someone who's done it once and they're like,
yeah,
doing that takes them 40 minutes, and then this one guy's like,
right,
flips it,
yeah,
done, and then grabs another weirder shaped fish, and it's like, all right, all the way through. I don't know. It goes down to just being really good at doing something and watching someone who's just mastered that craft. And I forgot what it is or what it's called, but like it's in like the Chinese culture where you just do one thing to complete perfection, whether it's like just like making noodles or something. I forgot what it's called.
I don't know the term that you're about to say, but I've heard the concept before, like being a purist, like Orville Redenbacher. I just make popcorn, but I do it really well. Yep. Yeah, that is super cool.
And
I'm jacked on that.
I commend people that can do stuff like that.
Well, Nick, listen, man, I actually have a dinner tonight, and this is about our normal wrap time, but I really appreciate you coming and telling
thanks for having me here, man.
Part of your story, and also for rolling me up blunt.
Cool.
Yeah, right. Can you make us look cooler?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot more to cover, and I have a feeling we'll do this again.
For sure. Well, hopefully we'll find a gym and let you know about getting into a gym, and
let's talk after the show.
And then getting Pokemon going, I guess. We'll do some of that. Hopefully we can get some
overhead shows.
Yeah, dude.
It's happening.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Peace.